Hello, it's Maggie the Cheshire Crafter here. Happy Easter to you all. Thanks for joining me today. I thought we'd do some Easter crafting. Come with me into the kitchen and we'll see what I can make for the home with an Easter theme. These are last week's roses. These are the ones that I've had in my lounge for a week. And as you can see, they're starting to die off around the edges. But I'm going to create some potpourri using these as the base. Let me show you how to do it. You can see that the rose has still held its colour. These roses were purchased from Aldi and have lasted a week, but they cost £2.49 a week ago, and now they're going to be recycled for a second purpose. I'm also going to recycle the leaves, and I'm just going to pinch those between finger and thumb, just here, just like that, and I'm going to separate those into a separate Pyrex dish. For this rose, I'm just going to discard those outer 4 or 5 petals and then just shape the rosebud tip again. They'll be discarded, but I want to keep these. So you can see just right at the tip, I'm going to remove those top sections. So although that you can see I've cut that with a knife, by the time these rose petals are dry, you won't notice that. You'll just notice a natural shape. As I peel the petals still feel velvety soft. I've warmed my oven to about 100 degrees and I'm going to put these in to dry, leaving the oven door open. In the same way that we associate orange slices and cinnamon sticks with Christmas, the citrus fruits, lemon and lime, give a good contrast for the spring. So I'm going to dry some slices. I'm going to place them on my grill rack and dry them in the oven at the same time as the roses. They're a bit uneven, but that doesn't matter. You'll see I've removed the pips and the leftover lemon will just get squeezed to make a lemon and honey drink for later. You could always consider doing this with pink grapefruit too. Make sure that your skin is unblemished, but actually I want to keep that one to eat it. I'll leave those for half an hour before checking them. They need turning frequently, the roses and the leaves, and the lemons and limes will need turning, possibly part way through. I'll check them after half an hour. I'm just going to sit and put my feet up and have a coffee for now. I bought flowers for Easter from Tesco and they were more expensive than the ones that I'm just trying to dry from Aldi. These cost £4 and already 2 of the roses flower heads have fallen off. So you know immediately what I'm going to do with those, don't you? I'm going to dry those so that I preserve them. Now the colour of these is a gorgeous corally orange, and to go with them I've got a contrasting colour, complementary colour of purple irises, and I've bought them where they're just in bud, just starting to come out. Just a word of note about the roses, you can already see that there's damage, they've been crushed, so these leaves wouldn't be worth preserving if you were going to dry them. You only want to preserve intact leaves. These have been mishandled on the way or overcrammed into their packaging en route. So although they've now been handled, they will soon revive. I've cut the stems down and made sure that there are no leaves beneath the water. I've added flower feed to the water that was supplied with the roses. The contrast of the leaves from the irises and the sharpness adds interest. And then I add my own decoration, which is this gold tinting and the pearlized tinting. And I always make sure that I sterilise those in boiling water, antibacterial washing up liquid, between putting them into the flower vases. Right, it's taken a good 2 hours with some turning, and you can see from the colour, this is from the pink petals that we have. You can see that the colour really changes. You want to take them out before they start overcooking and going brown, but you can hear how crisp they are. They're very light. Now the leaves have held their colour. As I said, I've never dried leaves before, but I'll certainly do that again, because what an interesting contrast that's going to give in potpourri. And then, just to give the idea of volume, these are the 2 orange roses that I dried. And you can see the deeper the colour of the rose, the deeper the potpourri shade you're going to get. And that's just from 2 roses. Now, my lemons and limes, I perhaps left in a little bit too long, but you can see they've still held on to the colour of the edges, and you can still tell it's meant to be lemon. Likewise, the limes, I've got a lime edge, and I've just lifted them off that cooling rack so that they don't stick, and I'm going to leave them to thoroughly dry out, probably overnight, and I'll come back to this in the morning. So these have now dried overnight, and you can hear how crisp and crunchy they are. So handle them very gently so that they don't break. I'm now going to want to add a contrast in there, and to do that I'm going to add something that I've previously dried, and that is just some deep red rose petals. These were probably rosebuds, so I'm going to add those in. I'm going to give them a stir with my hands, and then something else, and it's very evocative of this time of the year. These are little, they're called pussy willows. They're part of the catkin, and they're so soft. They're like little rabbit's feet. So I'm going to add those in as well. I've added those in. I'm going to now give them a stir and add just some of the green leaves and stir gently. So far there's no fragrance, so I'm going to add in natural 100% essential oils, and I'm going to use 2 fragrances. The first is rose geranium, and the second is vanilla. I'm going to add about 10 drops of each of those to the bowl and then mix it. Now the vanilla is a deeper fragrance. It's got a deep note, and it's that that'll linger longer than the rose geranium. If I want to top it up again, I'll probably top it up with rose geranium. But it's actually a very sweet, sickly scent, so don't overdo it. I'm now going to turn that over and let it just permeate through each of those leaves. There, now it's perfect for a bathroom or a bedroom. I just need to find some containers to put it in. And for this, I'm going to use a tall, clear bud vase and a vintage sugar bowl. Again, be very gentle with it. Try not to crush it. And you'll see that I've saved some pussy willows for effect on the top of this one. So not only does it smell gorgeous, but it looks gorgeous too. Let's get some into that bud vase. And I've got lots left over. Now, you can also give this as a gift. So let me show you how I'd prepare it as a gift too. wrapped in a cello bag. This is just a 6-inch cello bag and tied with raffia. That makes a very easy and lightweight gift. Easy to post. It's 100% natural, and it's a lovely thank you gift from a friend that's going to take me to a garden centre on the Tuesday after Easter. So I've added it to my little Easter bathroom display. The eggs were from TJ Maxx and the lights were from Temu. And this will smell gorgeous all the way over Easter. I'm going to use these for my own kitchen. I'm going to add in something that I've already dried, and that's a few yellow rose petals. They really go well with the orange. Again, mix them in. I'm going to add in a few leaves. Well, I might as well use all those leaves, mightn't I? How nice would it be if you had some lime leaves to do that with? But the rose petal leaves are just ideal. I'm going to add in fragrances now for my kitchen, and I'm going to use Mei Chang. And again, I'm going to use vanilla. And this time you can see I've chosen something that fits in with my kitchen. I put this into a cocktail glass, and I'm going to put that on my shelf with my other Easter products. There, and I can top that up with new fragrance whenever I cook. For my lemon and lime slices, I'm going to sew them onto a piece of ribbon that happens to be lemon and lime colour. I've taken 2 lemons and 1 lime slice and a 15-inch strip of ribbon, and I've taken an olive coloured piece of vintage Silco thread, and I'm going to sew those onto the ribbon. I'm going to sit down while I do that. There, I've added a little raffia bow at the top, and I've left enough room for me to hang these from my shelf. The remainder of the lemon and lime slices have just been added to my fragrance pot. This is the matching vintage milk jug to go with the sugar basin. Now added to last year's decorations. They look mighty fine. I can top them up. The steam from the kettle or the cooking is going to release the fragrances of those oils. And in the evening I can light those candles and get the colour to shine through too. This doesn't want to behave. It should fall that way. And I showed you how I made that last year. So my kitchen smells of lemon and lime, of Mei Chang and vanilla. In my lounge, the irises from yesterday are starting to bloom. So I hope I've given you some ideas for fragrancing your home and decorating your home this Easter. This is Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter. Come back and see me soon, won't you? I'm going to be doing some quilting over the weekend, and I hope to share that with you too. Bye.